Hi, just a quick note. I want to give a content warning for this episode that there will be talk of death and suicide. So if that's something that you don't feel you want to listen to, go ahead and skip this episode. Thanks. One young man woke up in the hotel wearing pantyhose and clutching money that wasn't his. Another looked in the mirror and saw his face smeared with red lipstick, with no idea as to how it got there. Another student got lost in the hotel for about an hour when he was only able to read Braille and seeing written words and numbers as gibberish.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Weird World Podcast. I am your gracious and charming host, Dean.
I'm Emma.
I'm Carrie.
I'm a tri-host now. Is that a word?
No.
There's a co-host, but it's three people. I feel like that should be tri-host.
No,
you know?
you're just all
You're still
co-hosts.
Got it. Co-host, plural.
Yes.
Okay. I like that better.
I don't feel like we have hosts at all.
No, we don't. We do. We're just around a table.
We're just here.
Yeah.
We are literally around a table. Okay. Carrie is going to tell us one of really has become Carrie's patented kind of crazy stuff that happens inside people's heads and to people from. She's done a lot of psychology. Have you noticed that?
Yeah.
A lot of psychology.
From the person who doesn't really know the story. It's not
I know a
that
little
kind
bit
of
about the story. It also sounds, frankly, from your tease, it sounds a little bit like my normal high school weekend. Am I right, ladies?
Hey.
Of course, for reasons anybody who likes to listen to weird podcasts should know, this story happens in Florida.
Naturally.
Is it going to be a Florida man? All one word?
Well, sure.
Okay.
It's about a man, and he lives in Florida.
Boom. Right
Florida
there.
man.
There it is.
And it's, in particular, the town of Northport.
Northport, Florida. Never heard of it.
Never heard of it either.
I haven't either.
It's going to be on the sea in the northern part of Florida. Boom. Go.
No.
Damn it. Seriously?
Yeah.
It's
Where
not?
is it
It's
geographically?
in Midland, southern Florida. Come on.
It's between Tampa and Fort Myers in Sarasota County. It's not on the ocean. It is on a big river, though.
Okay.
Population now-ish is around, well, according to their website, it's 86,500.
Sounds like an exaggeration.
And also, according to the website, they have the only natural warm mineral spring in Florida. The water is a consistent to 85 degrees year-round.
Oh.
Now filled with Burmese pythons. So enjoy.
The springs and the buildings are listed on the U.S. National Register of Historic Places.
Yeah.
This is interesting. There's evidence of prehistoric man, saber-toothed tigers, and giant sloths
I love it.
have been
That's
discovered
fun.
there and date back more than 10,000 years.
Makes sense. Since
This
they
is
were
my
alive.
favorite fact.
Okay.
The buildings were built to celebrate Florida, not this part, to build Florida's quadricentennial and were designed, this is my favorite part, by architect Jack West.
Jack
Aw.
West. That's curious, isn't it?
That's cute.
He was apparently a leader of the Sarasota School of Architecture.
Well, Gary,
Clearly.
we know who Jack West is.
Come on.
But another question, what the hell's a quadricentennial?
Yeah, what's that?
400 years,
That's 400 years?
Oh.
right?
Wait, okay, it seems like it'd be 400 years. Nothing in Florida is 400 years
I
old,
know.
though, so what's
Exactly.
happening?
Our country's in Florida.
Well, maybe it
400
is. The
years.
Spanish were there early, saying, oh, yeah, okay, I'm going with it.
Sure.
Let's do it. 400 years. I believe it now.
I
I'm
mean,
buying in.
yes. Former students of Northport High describe it as a small town. They say it's boring. There's nothing to do there. It's kind of out in the country. And that kids who went to their only high school,
Do a
they have
lot of
one
meth.
high school, Northport High School, are the dumbest of the dumb,
Wow.
Damn.
This is a takedown from their own students?
or they're criminals.
This is brutal. Accurate, but brutal.
Fuck.
I'm
Florida
assuming.
just,
So that's Florida just dogpiling on Florida.
yeah.
Damn.
This
Other
come-
states gonna do plenty of that, Florida. You don't need to do yourself.
This story that I'm about to tell you comes from a lot of newspaper stories from around 2011. And then a few years ago, there was a documentary made that is available now on, I think I saw it on Amazon Prime or something. And I know you started to watch it, Dean. It's called Look Into My Eyes.
Look into my eyes.
I mean, I may have got past the 10 seconds, and then you stopped me and
I
said,
told
I'm
you
going
to
to
stop.
do
Yeah. It's a 4-part documentary. Very repetitive.
Oh, really?
I wish you could speed up
Like on podcasts? Like,
streaming.
hopefully you're not doing right now.
like you can podcasts
Not
and
gonna
YouTube
lie.
videos.
Is this a series? Is it like a limited series, or is it like a?
just a 4-part documentary?
So it should have
Yeah.
been, you're saying it should have been like a 1-part documentary.
Yeah.
I just think a lot of documentaries nowadays, especially they usually become limited series. They're so repetitive and drawn out.
They're padding, right?
Yes.
It's a lot of padding. Like,
Yeah,
why is it
tons.
eight episodes?
Because you can sell them for more money than 2 episodes.
I get it. I'm
I
just
assume.
over it.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
over
Yeah.
it.
Stop padding documentaries.
It
Knock
deters me
off.
from watching them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
knock it off.
Anyway, we're going to start in 2004. This is when the first graduating class of Northport High School happened.
Ever?
Yes, it was a new
Damn.
school.
It was a brand new school.
Yeah.
All right.
They had a locked-in graduation party,
That
as
sounds
we are
creepy.
familiar with our
Oh,
kids.
okay.
I never,
Maybe not.
I didn't. My year didn't have one. I don't think.
You didn't have a grad night?
Not locked in. Let them
Um,
roam free.
Yeah, we
No.
had freedom.
No, you didn't.
Oh,
Well,
oh we might have. It might
You're
have been.
super
it might
high.
have been-
Like the kids at
I
Northport.
didn't go.
You must have not went.
It was probably. I think it's at like a water park or something.
Yeah.
But I
Aaron's
didn't go.
was-
I was too cool.
Oh.
Jesus.
No, I wasn't. I just didn't go.
Well, our first 2 graduating seniors had locked-in parties. You're just not allowed to leave.
Sounds dangerous, frankly. What if there's not enough oxygen? What if something happens? What if a Carrie situation with the telekinesis happens? They're locked in. She doesn't have to do it.
They
That
don't-
part she doesn't have to use her mind for.
They don't.
The
lock
adults
the
don't
doors.
lock the doors and leave
Sounds
and go
like-
to bed.
I think they bar them from the outside.
You
they are
can't
there
come and go as you
supervising the whole
please,
thing.
yeah.
Yes,
I
you're
don't
not
think they go
allowed
to bed.
leave.
I think they go get drunk.
In fact, one of our students, I had to go pick up.
How'd you
in
get
the-
in?
in the wee
It's
hours
locked
of
in
the
and barred
night.
from the outside. I don't get it.
Jack.
Oh, Jack. Yeah, I didn't
Damn.
go to that. I didn't go.
And they almost didn't let his friend come home with me because I wasn't her parent. They're 18 years old. They're adults. They
Yeah.
should be able to leave. But
Carrie,
anyway.
locked in.
So anyhow, so they were having one of these locked-in graduation parties, and they hired a hypnotist, which I think is a very common thing.
Yeah. It's super lame, but it's a very common thing.
Yes. And apparently the principal, who was the first principal at this high school, his name was Dr. George Kenney.
Mm.
He had already developed quite an interest in hypnotism.
Mm.
And
Okay. It's already gone bad.
he would go to all the graduation parties. They were called Project Graduation. Why did you grad night? Grad night works,
No, Carrie.
but
Yeah, grad
sounds
night.
like a spy.
not in Northport. And
Brought to you by the CIA.
he would actually assist the hypnotist.
Oh, this
And
is
you know-
getting creepier.
These are
really
stage.
weird.
These are stage entertainment.
Yeah,
Hypnotists.
yeah.
I'm sure everybody's aware of what they do.
We saw him a couple times in the 80s
It was
going
a
to
big
clubs.
thing in the
Oh, it was
80s.
huge in the 80s.
Really?
It was, yeah, you make people walk like chickens or bark, 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 things
Yes.
like that.
Yeah.
Pretend that you're going to be a
I'm
stripper for a while.
Very, very familiar with hypnotist shows.
Are you?
I
Okay.
went to
Sounds
a
like a
leadership-
humble brag, a weird humble brag. But
No, not a brag.
Oh.
I went to a leadership camp for 3 summers in a row, and the same hypnotist would go to every camp.
Yeah, I remember you
Yeah.
talking about that. Well, I will tell you, I have developed quite an opinion on stage hypnotists after doing this.
Sounds like
Research
a
for
bold.
this
Sounds like
podcast.
Carrie's about to say something
has a
ballsy.
stance.
Yeah.
They also hypnotists nowadays are at the county fair.
Yeah, I
the
don't-
county fair
Yes.
will have a hypnotist.
Carrie wants to imprison all of them for
I
life.
think so.
Jeez, I feel like we're getting to that by the end of the show.
Well, so in 2006, a teacher says that at that time, Kenney turned into I'm going to call Dr. George Kenney just Kenney. That's
Okay.
his last name.
I feel like his first name, I'm going to think of it as his first name.
Yeah,
Kenney?
but that's okay.
Kenny sounds like a hypnotist name.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it does.
Like if your name is Kenny, yeah, you probably do some weird shit.
The amazing Kenney.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, they say he turned into an entertainer overnight.
Mm.
Found his calling.
And then he started by going into the psychology classes and doing a hypnosis presentation there with the students in the psychology.
It's definitely, as a principal
classes.
from high school, you used to definitely hypnotize teenage girls.
Totally. That's, I think, a
not
great
going to end
look.
bad. That's
Not gonna end bad at
Nothing
all.
but good.
Yep.
Mhm. Well, Kenney said his interest in hypnosis actually started way back when he was in high school. He and a friend had read up on it and tried doing it. I don't know. Sounds a little weird.
Yeah, it does.
And then when he began teaching high school, he went to a conference in Orlando where he was chaperoning a group of kids, and at that conference, there was a stage hypnotist performance, and he was fascinated by how trusting the kids were and how the hypnotist could influence their behavior.
Yeah.
These were his own words.
He's just
nice.
That does
he's
not,
digging his own grave.
He needs to be on a list.
doesn't sound like a healthy
Watch this.
interest in hypnotism.
It does not.
Well, and there is some video of one of the demonstrations where he is, I'm not sure if it's the psychology students or if it's another group of students like the ROTC kids, because he apparently was doing hypnosis with them too. But in parts of it, he has the kids like they're trying to run with progressively heavier weights, till it gets to the point where they just all fall on the ground, like they can't move their feet at all.
Mm.
Another one where they think they're in their underwear. So of course it's all boys and one girl, and she's like trying to cover herself up. And
That's really
and
weird.
he says that it's really cold. And of course you forgot to put on your clothes. So you're really cold. And he even says for them, it's real.
No,
Okay.
it's not. You know my opinion on hypnotism, I believe.
Yes.
It's not real. It's a game two people play. No one's really doing anything against their will.
Well, I have questions about the stage hypnotism.
Yeah, I have questions about any kind of
shows.
hypnotism.
I know you do. Then in spring, and I'm going to just gloss right over it. Then in spring 2010, a kid came to him because he was having tics. And he hadn't been diagnosed with Tourette's syndrome or even seen a doctor for it, but one of his tics was like his head was jerking. And so Kenney said it was, quote, like Tourette's would be. And he hypnotized the boy to try to help him get rid of his tics. The tics didn't completely go away, but the boy said they were a bit better. Like some of them had gotten better. And Dr. Kenney said that they weren't even noticeable after that.
Proves the power of hypnosis because, as we know, no one has Tourette's syndrome anymore because of hypnotism.
Yeah.
Oh, wait.
Hold on.
Well, after he tried hypnosis to help this boy with his tics, that may or may not have been Tourette's syndrome, he thought, and he admitted this to himself, that he needed more training in hypnotism so that he could really do the most good and be the best at it that he could be.
He's a principal. This is not your job.
Correct.
Yeah, this is odd.
Mm-hmm. So he went to the Omni Hypnosis Training Center in DeLand, Florida.
Okay. Omni Hypnosis Training Center and DeLand, Florida. All red flags.
It was a 5-day course, so it had to be quite comprehensive.
Yeah.
The director of this course says it's 100 hours. I don't know how 5 days could be 100-hour course.
It's 20
that
hours
is
a day.
Impossible.
20 hours a day. People slept for 3 hours. They ate breakfast for 1 hour, and they went to the course for 20 hours
And
every
didn't sleep for
single
5 days.
day.
And didn't
They
sleep.
slept. I said they slept. They had 3 hours to sleep. They're fine.
No.
I gave them 3 hours per day to sleep.
No.
Plenty.
But in this 5-day course, he got a certificate as a certified hypnotist from the, quote, National Guild of Hypnotists.
Neither one of those things is a thing.
And apparently
The NGH? Okay, I didn't
there were
realize.
no prerequisites to take this course.
Yeah,
You
no
didn't have to
shit.
have any kind of
Of course not.
bachelor's
What?
degree,
How could there be
master's degree.
fake prerequisites to take a fake course? Okay. I mean, you might as well make some. They should have made some fake prerequisites up, like
Clown school.
clown.
You have to have a clown degree.
Can you pass a juggling test
Right.
in lieu of the degree?
Well, the director of this training center also says that they were trained in all the safety parameters or something like that. So this was his only formal training. I think he had done some online stuff before this.
And we're
but
using formal training in a
Well.
loose way there.
Yeah.
where he actually went in person, and supposedly some expert told him things.
Yeah, I
They
bet.
did crossword puzzles. They played games. They
Hung
drank a
out.
lot.
Yeah.
Well,
I
he
feel
felt
that.
it was excellent training,
And he is now NGH certified. Huh?
So
and he felt very knowledgeable.
I'm sure he did.
I told you about the ROTC, that he was hypnotizing ROTC kids. They would go on some kind of trip where they would do competitions and stuff like that. And that's where
Ironically, dance competitions.
that's
Sure.
where that first little anecdote came from in the teaser. One kid was told everything was in Chinese. So
Oh.
he was literally wandering around the hotel for an hour. Couldn't find his room, he didn't know where to go. All the signs he said were just like little lines and stuff. And that would be scary. I would be scared if I was in a hotel in a different city and I didn't have my parents with me or anything like that. I don't know. So that was that. Another kid woke up with red lipstick on and didn't know how it got there. He was very embarrassed. And then just like never told anybody.
Carrie, he thought
he
something happened to him.
Yeah.
Or he's just going along with it.
But so also, they say that when you're being hypnotized, you know everything that's going on and you remember it. So clearly these kids weren't remembering.
Which something's wrong with one of those parts at least.
Yeah, I've never been hypnotized.
I remember, if you recall, one of those times that we did get one of those hypnosis shows in the 80s. They had volunteers come up.
Yeah.
He just like, nope, stay, nope. He made eye contact and goes, get off, kicked me off the stage because he knew I wasn't. You can just tell. Okay, I'm not falling for it.
I never
part
volunteered.
of the game. So he,
Yeah. Well, and he had them do silly things too, like they were dancing around with their heads supposedly glued, or their hands supposedly glued to their heads and things like that. And then in 2009 at school, he started having private sessions with kids to help them with their focus and concentration in order to get better grades and do better in sports and things like that. He videotaped these sessions. Later, he would say that he erased them, but there sure are an awful lot of snippets of video in this documentary. So that doesn't really.
Well, how did they get access to them? Or if.
No, they must have gotten them from him. I don't know.
Yeah.
And then he
lied about erasing them all.
Yeah.
And then when
but
he was compelled to produce them,
yeah.
he had to. Is my suspicion.
Okay.
I don't know for sure. One kid in the documentary said he did 3 individual sessions with Kenney per week.
So
that's a lot.
Hold on. There's why are kids going to their principal for hypnosis?
Yeah.
Is he just he's trolling for kids who have some kind of an issue or a problem or something
probably,
like that?
Or it seemed like the kids really liked him. He was very approachable. They could talk to him, and I'm sure if he got wind of a kid having some sort of problem, I don't know if he was ever approaching the kids or if they were always coming to him, but when a kid would mention an issue, he'd say, "Hey,
hi.
Let me take care of it. Come back here in my room, just us, and I'll hypnotize you." That seems, horrible. And were parents told? I mean,
well, we'll get to that.
It just seems like that it got to the point very quickly where it's routine for a school's principal to be hypnotizing kids. How does that get started?
To be alone with children.
And specifically hypnotizing them of all things, something he's not qualified for, despite his NGH certification, which I hold in high regard as he does.
Well, there is a woman in the documentary who I'm going to name her because they named her in the documentary.
Okay.
And the only reason why I wouldn't name her is because I'm not going to say nice things about her.
Oh, okay.
Period.
Her name is Janice Clough.
Janice Clough. I'm writing that down. I love the name, by the way.
She's the bookkeeper specialist for the Sarasota School District.
Okay.
And apparently she just loves Dr. Kenney.
Yep.
Ugh. She's a huge supporter of him.
She was like in AP Bio, remember?
Yes.
The
Paula
Pell was who she just adored the principal, played by Patton Oswalt.
Oh,
yeah.
Which is she was great. It's like that. Play based on that.
She was actually I don't think so, but
that was based on this story. My theory, sticking with it.
No, because
true.
Like that, but
damn it.
She had been hypnotized by Dr. Kenney. I don't know for what purpose. And she allowed her son to be hypnotized by him as well. Apparently, this school, Northport High School, had a reputation for just being terrible at football. They had a terrible football program. They always lost until one year when Marcus Freeman joined the team.
Marcus Freeman.
Marcus was a scholar athlete. He was a great student and a great quarterback. And apparently he was also like a 2-time BMX whatever champion in the state of Florida.
Okay. Just BMX champion.
Yeah.
Let's go with that. Bikes.
Yeah. And so when he got to town or got to the school, whatever, their football reputation started to turn around. He was really good, and he became the quarterback, and he was being hypnotized by the principal. An assistant coach talked about how the hypnosis of players started early on during like preseason and then before games. And, it became a well-known thing that the principal was hypnotizing the football players at Northport High. And there was talk about it with other coaches from other teams. They would talk about how, there they go again or whatever. And apparently Marcus was being hypnotized for pain. This is what he told his friends, that, when he was getting beaten up on the football field, he wanted to be able to keep playing without feeling the pain of, getting beaten around, I guess. He said he was doing it every Friday night. And he said, this is what he told his friends, that when he's in a, quote, trance, he can hear everything that's going on, and he can still think, but he can't feel his body at all.
That's
So,
very unsafe.
the pain goes
Yeah,
away.
that's
Be
terrible.
almost certainly not true.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You may convince yourself that that's true. You may even remember it being true, but it's not true. It's not physically true.
I don't know.
Well, okay, I'll interrupt now because I feel like I must. Here's my my take is very, very simple. You always say hypnotists always say we can't force anybody to do anything against their will.
Correct.
Of course they could. If hypnosis is real, of course you could. If you hypnotize someone to read Chinese or not feel pain, you can hypnotize someone to kill and maim and things like that. Those two things can't both be true. So either you can hypnotize someone to kill, or hypnotism is some form of bullshit. There. I've said it. I'm going to stick to it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why there's something else going on besides what it's advertised to be. I think in most cases, it's just, you're just going along with it.
Yeah, I think. I mean, at least my experience when I've watched hypnotist shows, it's usually been with younger people. Like with my experience, it was with teenagers as well. They volunteered. They wanted to do it.
Yes.
They thought it was fun.
Yeah.
And, you sit there and they make you close your eyes and they do this little speech and they make you all calm and blah, blah, blah. And you want to do it. No one's actually hypnotized. No one's actually doing anything, without doing it themselves. It's confirmation bias. They want to be hypnotized, so they are.
Yeah.
If it's some kind of power, is some kind of real, digging into someone's psychology, then they'd be your puppet, and they're not. So there's something else happening there.
Well, anyway,
sorry.
Yeah.
Then, I don't know the date of this. I think it was in March
2011.
Okay.
I remember it well.
Marcus.
I was 11. No, I wasn't.
Freeman
I was 10. Sorry.
was in a car accident.
Oh, no.
Oh, no. Is he still quarterback?
Yes. Yes. He went to a dental appointment, and I think he was only 16, so he was a fairly new driver, and his girlfriend, I think her name was Carly, was with him. And on the way home, he's driving his truck and she's with him, and they're singing Katy Perry's Firework. And then
As you do.
And then she said she looked over at him and his hands were at 10 and 2 on the steering wheel. And then his eyes just like kind of went glassy or whatever. And she said they kind of were rolling up in the back of his head. And she started yelling at him and like even, kind of like hitting at his arms. And then they drifted off the road, went into a ditch and hit a tree.
Did someone say like his code word or something like that? Armadillo? No.
Hazelnut?
She woke him up in the hospital asking, "Where's Marcus?" And Marcus was dead.
No.
What?
He did not survive.
No.
Does she think... So he went into a trance. She thinks he went into some kind of trance while he was driving?
I mean, that was what her story was.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then, word got around real quick, because I guess this was like in the afternoon, and kids, everybody just kind of started meeting at the school. And, so everybody's on the football field, and, this is what happens when a student dies in high school. We have experienced it with our school, unfortunately. And it became a big, big news story there, so it was just a very big deal. And there was a ton of attention about it. And Kenney, the principal, said he started to get worried about what other kids might do after that because it was such a big deal. And he says it turned out to be prophetic. And
What
then,
does that mean?
Like,
Told the future.
Oh, like a
Yeah.
prophet.
yeah,
Got it.
like he was psychic.
Got it.
He says after the fact.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The psychic phenomena tend to be after the fact. That's what I did. I swear to God.
I swear I said that.
I said it.
Well, news stories started talking about the hypnotize angle.
Yeah.
And based on Carly's story, I think they were saying that he had self-hypnotized.
You don't have to be a prophet to know, for Kenney to have known, I'm in trouble.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been hypnotizing this kid, and according to the witness who lived, he went into some kind of trance. There's going to be
If
trouble
I
for
was
me
Kenney,
coming up.
I would be shitting in my pants.
Yes.
Well, I don't think he was at that point.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
He was a pretty confident guy.
You just changed 180 degrees there.
No.
I'd be shitting my pants. I'm not surprised. He
If
wasn't.
I was Kenney,
Yes.
I'd be shitting in my pants. I'm not surprised that he wasn't because that fits him from what I've been told.
He's a confident hypnotist.
Well, apparently first the parents went to the dentist. Like,
Yeah.
what did you
Yeah.
do?
Oh.
And what kind of anesthesia did you use? And in lots of sources, it said he had a root canal, which would probably have been under more anesthesia than just a filling.
Yeah, why would he been driving
And
home if he
exactly.
had a root
Another
canal?
news story said he was just having a cavity filled or something.
Yeah.
So
Couldn't Kenney have just hypnotized him to not feel the pain of his root canal?
Yeah.
Yes, he
Mhm.
could.
Well, so I'm going to believe that he probably only had a cavity filled
Okay.
because they did go to the dentist and then there was also an autopsy done. So they would have been able to see what was in his system. And I didn't see anything about any autopsy results, but it seems like it was decided that whatever the dentist did was not a factor. Didn't have anything to do with what happened. Then at that point is when they decided to look at hypnosis as possibly being a factor in the accident. Now we're going to talk about another kid. His name.
We're leaving Marcus Freeman?
Yes.
Are we putting a pin in it?
We're putting a pin in it.
Okay, got it.
Or like, was that it? Like we're not.
Yeah, that was a weird ending. I feel like we're going to come back to Marcus.
We are going to come
Okay.
back to Marcus. This kid's name is Wesley McKinley.
Cute name.
His family moved to Northport from Jacksonville when his parents lost their jobs. I don't know what that means.
Okay.
That's all I know.
Cheaper, I'm assuming.
Yeah, I'm assuming Jacksonville is a bit of a larger city.
Cheaper than Jacksonville. It's good.
And it seemed like a nice town, probably. Wesley had always gone to Catholic schools. Well, it was a small town. I'm assuming
Boring.
Jacksonville is a bigger town.
Yeah, but you recall what the earlier Northporters said about their own high school.
That it was boring.
It was
No,
harsher than that. Gary.
Criminals and stupid.
Yeah, and meth heads. So
No,
yeah.
you said that. They never
Oh, I
said
did.
that.
They probably did. Carrie just didn't want to pile on.
No, they didn't talk about drugs.
No, Carrie, it's rural Florida for sure. Meth.
Well, anyway, he had always gone to Catholic schools.
Okay.
So this was going to be the first time he was ever going to a public school. And
Oh.
he was really excited.
So he
about
wasn't
it.
going to wear those short plaid skirts anymore?
No.
Okay.
He was also a talented guitarist.
Aw.
And I'm assuming he could sing because he looked like Justin Bieber.
Okay. But he sang a lot of Katy Perry. He sang Firework.
Saying firework, actually.
He had a Justin Bieber haircut.
Didn't we all in 2012?
You may have as
Well.
well. It went from Pete Rose to Justin Bieber.
I never had one, but I knew a lot of
you
people
had a
that
Pete
did.
Rose.
I did have a Pete
Yeah,
Rose.
not a Justin
Well, you
Bieber.
did have the waist side part.
Yeah,
I feel like
everybody
that was
did.
influenced by Justin
No,
Bieber.
it was not.
Your part started just above your ear.
Pretty much, yeah.
Anyway, Wesley was described as funny, outgoing, and cute. He was cute. He had a
Aw.
girlfriend named Ashley. He had another friend who called him Justin Bieber just to tease him, and because of his hair.
Yeah, but it actually really hurt.
And he did get upset about it, but it just became a thing.
It was on a
They were
very
friends.
odd phenomenon back then where boys would deliberately have the same exact haircut and style as Justin Bieber because it was trendy, and they would do the hair flip thing.
Yes.
You guys can't see me, but it was a specific head thing where they would flip their hair in place. But if you dared call one of those boys Justin Bieber, oh my God, your head was on a stick. They would get so mad. And it was like, then do something different with your hair.
It's called the Justin Bieber syndrome. It's a well-known medical.
Yes.
Carrie will actually be a weird world about that soon.
No, I won't.
I could probably do a weird world about the Justin Bieber phenomenon.
Well, anyway, he was so talented. He was wanting to attend Juilliard.
Period.
He even had an audition for it. I don't know how easy
Good for
those
Wesley.
are to come by. So he was a little bit nervous about it, and Kenney offered to help him by hypnotizing him to help him, not be so nervous, I suppose. So Marcus died in March, and now we're in April when Wesley is being hypnotized for his audition. So one day he's like getting on the bus, like his friends notice, and they'd say, like when they'd get on the bus, they rode the bus home together, like he'd have trouble remembering even his own name. And he said he just didn't look like he was all there after he would have a hypnosis session. I don't think he had a ton of them. But then on one day, the friend that rode the bus home with him said he was acting really strange. And when they got off the bus, he asked him to punch him in the face.
What?
And obviously the friend didn't do it. And they were going, I think they had planned to get together later. I think he said to play video games or something like that. But they both went home after getting off the bus. Wesley went home, saw his mom, walked past her. She said he put his book bag down, told her that his friends were coming over later. She said what time. He didn't answer her as he just walked past her and just went out the back door.
Really?
And she said that was weird. It was out of character for him not to answer her.
She said, usually he asked me to punch him in the face, and I do.
I'm pretty sure he's an only child. And then she said about an hour later, she heard sirens.
Oh, God.
No.
Wesley.
And then 3 detectives came knocking on her door, asking her if Wesley was her son, and then told her he was dead.
Oh, that's horrible.
My God.
He walked out the back door, and that's the last she saw him.
Yep.
Where'd he go?
Well, the next street over, there was an abandoned house, and he was found hanging outside that house. I think in the backyard or something.
So he committed suicide.
Yes.
That is horrible.
April 8th, 2011. And I'm assuming because it was suicide, Wesley's death didn't get all of the attention that Marcus's did. His friends were upset about this because, there was a memorial plaque and a tree planted, and, they probably did have grief counselors come for this too. But it was a big, huge thing. And some of his friends went to the principal and asked, because, I think they had, like an assembly and, they to talk about it and all that kind of stuff. And he told Wesley's friend that it was because Wesley died of suicide, and he didn't want kids to feel that it was okay or that it should be celebrated.
The principal said that.
Yes. And
what the fuck?
Jeez.
she was super upset. Of course his life should be celebrated, not his death.
That's terrible.
Yeah.
That's awful.
So I kind of get where he felt that he was in a hard spot after that. But
Kenney.
yes.
The principal, yes.
Yeah.
George, okay.
Yeah. So a few days after his death, his parents went to the school to get his stuff. The mom stayed in the car in the parking lot. The dad went to empty out his locker, and I'm assuming somebody had to accompany him to get him into the locker and all that kind of stuff. And so Kenney walked out with the dad to the car and, saw the mother, said, I'm sorry for your loss kind of stuff. He said that he didn't know Wesley personally, but that other kids had said he was a great kid.
So he's denying.
So he's
he never
lying.
told them that he had hypnotized their
He's
son.
lying.
Yeah.
So he was not getting parental permission, clearly,
No,
to
he was
hypnotize
not.
these kids.
Well, that's the thing he was getting. He did have like them sign permission slips.
Pretty vague permission slips.
So,
Yeah.
well,
I'm allowing my kid to do whatever with Principal Kenney.
I think what happened in Wesley's case was Wesley lied to his mom. about what the permission slip was. He told her it was for something else. And, you're getting permission slips every other day at the end of the school year and stuff for activities and things.
I prided myself on not looking at what I was signing.
No,
exactly.
We would give him a stack of papers and tell him to sign it. And he did.
I did. Again.
I'm actually legally emancipated. I was legally emancipated at 15.
I was fine with it.
But it is interesting that he said that to his mother.
That
of
is.
course, later,
So clearly he has to be conscious that he knows he's in trouble because he's consciously trying to cover his tracks.
Yes.
Either that or he never said it, which is what his story will be later.
Sure.
Oh, okay.
When we talk about it.
I believe the mom.
I believe the mom.
Well, Wesley's mom said his behavior at home had changed. And, as a mom, is it because he was being hypnotized by his principal, or was it because he was a 17-year-old adolescent and
who just moved cities and is at a new school?
Well, he didn't just move,
but is also
been a couple of years
trying to get into Juilliard, which is very hard, and also preparing for this audition, which is extremely stressful.
Yeah, I don't know. She said there was something that when he was if he was counting something, he would always skip number 7, and she would say Wesley, you skipped number 7, and he would say something like, I don't have 7. And that was something that Dr. Kenney did when he hypnotized kids. It was like a counting thing, and it was to skip the number 10. And so there were kids on the school bus saying they had 11 fingers because when you're counting, they go from 9 to 11. They don't really think they have 11 fingers, but they think there's no number 10. So for some reason, apparently it seems Wesley had that with number 7.
I feel like Kenney was just more or less messing with these kids. Why would you even do that?
So the problem with that is it's not temporary.
Yeah.
It stayed with them.
Yeah.
The number thing, whether it was number 7 or number 10, this was something that Kenney had admitted to doing during hypnosis, and he said it was temporary. So the assumption is, well, he must have been depressed or he must have been upset about something. All of his friends said he was the happiest kid. That nobody had any sort of idea that he possibly could have been depressed about anything.
It seems you'll probably get into this later of what's going on here, but it seems like suggestibility is a huge part in probably all hypnotism. But why, how is Kenney impacting him through his hypnosis to be sadder?
Later we'll talk about what the parents think actually happened and how it contributed to it. I don't think he was doing anything to make them sadder.
Yeah.
I mean, even inadvertently, how would that work? Or with Marcus Freeman, the quarterback, your hypnotism just what? You just go into some kind of a trance again. I mean,
well, I'll tell you what the assumption is with Marcus Freeman.
Okay.
Is because he was the football player being hypnotized to do things through the pain. And so he was in pain after going to the dentist, which is normal.
Maybe the Novocaine's wearing off.
And he was using whatever technique he had learned during his hypnosis sessions.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And kind of put himself into
so he did that while he was driving.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. So Kenney says that Wesley had asked him to work with him on being more outgoing and that he had asked for more sessions. He claimed that Wesley had some sort of drama behind the scenes at school, something to do with online bullying, which Wesley's friends deny. But Kenney says he doesn't know what was going on with Wesley. His quotes were, "He had a bright future, and that one still haunts me."
So the others don't? I mean,
right. That's scary.
So the weekend after Wesley died, before this, he saw them at the school. He denied to the mother, or he, said that he didn't even know the kid. And then a few days after that, Kenney actually called Wesley's parents, talked to his dad, and told the dad that he had hypnotized Wesley before he died, the day before he died.
Oh my God.
And that he was worried it was going to look like he was responsible. He also told him that there was an article in the newspaper that was going to be coming out about his hypnotizing students at the school.
Which is why he's calling him.
Yes.
Exactly.
Okay.
So he invited them to come to the school to meet with him, which they did. And apparently in this meeting, he showed them a binder where he had a bunch of pages of notes of his sessions with the kids that he was hypnotizing. And he told them that he was doing research by hypnotizing the kids, and that he was writing a book and making CDs to sell on Amazon.
Oh, he's
Oh
gross.
my God.
He's of course.
Yep.
Today he'd be on TikTok.
Yeah.
One was defeating test anxiety with hypnosis, and another one was anger management with hypnosis. Wesley's mom was super offended. To her, it was like he was trying to sell them a book or
So
something.
he quickly got out a pendulum and said both to parents, "You're feeling sleepy."
I would be so livid. I would probably
too.
punch him in the face.
Yeah.
My kid is your guinea pig, so you can make money off this phony self-help book. or
And now
help
he's
book.
dead.
Yeah,
Super
you're-
cool.
ugh.
He also told them that if he had known Wesley was depressed, he never would have hypnotized him. So he was assuming he was depressed, but everybody else said that he wasn't.
But I have a
Yeah.
book on how to use hypnotism to cure your depression. So
Wesley's mom thinks Kenney is a narcissist.
you think?
Yeah.
Then 3 weeks.
Probably.
So 3 weeks after Wesley died, 17-year-old Brittany Palumbo was
We have a
another
third
student
one?
at the
Jesus.
school.
God.
She was a very academically focused student. She was very well liked and happy. She had a lot of friends. She had a boyfriend. But
What?
I think,
What was her first name?
Brittany
Brittany.
Columbo.
Palumbo.
I know.
Brittany, Marcus, and Wesley. Okay.
She had always been a real good student. In fact, as a small child, she played teacher, and she was always the mean teacher.
Period. Love that.
Putting kids in a lot of timeouts, her mom said. But she wanted to go to the University of Central Florida, which I don't know anything about the University of Central Florida.
You're about to say something not nice.
But-
It sounded like it.
I don't know anything about it. Do you know
UCF.
anything about it?
Yeah, I've heard of it.
But apparently it's kind of hard
Decent
to get
football
into
team.
because she was a real good student. I don't know. I can't say yes or no, but she was a very good student. She had a good GPA.
I doubt it's super hard to get into, but
Well,
good for her.
she had already taken the SAT. Nobody said what her score was, but she really felt like she needed to have a better SAT score to get into UCF.
Mm-hmm.
And so Kenney basically diagnosed her with test anxiety, and he said that
Ooh.
hypnosis could help improve her SAT
Yeah.
scores.
He was very soon going to open probably like a hypnosis strip mall.
Yeah.
You know,
little
little
store.
stores that hypnotize students or something like that. He is, I'm a principal. I know to do that.
He did. He did have a goal. We'll talk about that later.
Oh.
She
Am I close?
she had to ask her mom for permission because, like I said, he was
Yeah.
requiring parental permission. Whether the real parent actually signed the permission slip is another story.
But this is after West McKinley, right?
Or is this kind of simultaneously going
kind of
on?
the hypnosis is simultaneous. I'll bet this is probably
Okay.
before Wesley died.
Oh, okay.
Her mom didn't like the idea, but Brittany begged her. So she called Kenney and wanted to ask him about it. And he told her that it could help Brittany relax about, taking the test that she was so anxious about. So she thought, okay, maybe it will help. She said, I'll allow it, but I'm going to be in the room while you do it. And he said, okay. He allowed her to be in the room during the session. She was, and she said, Brittany flopped over, like she's sitting in a chair and she flops over at the waist. So her head is down, like if you're fainting and you put your head between your knees,
Mhm.
that's what she's like,
Okay.
but like limp. And then, Dr. Kenney is doing his whatever, you're very relaxed routine. And she thought, and the mom said she was in that position for the entire time. And it was like 8 to 10 minutes. And she thought, boy, that's gotta be uncomfortable.
Yeah.
She's not going to feel real great when she gets up.
Yeah. Also, all the blood rushing to
Yeah.
your head. That's not.
Well,
Not good.
during the session, she remembered Kenney telling Brittany that if she ever felt confused, stressed, anxious, or depressed, she could blink her eyes, like a few times, I'm assuming, and then she would feel calm and relaxed. That sounds a lot like teaching somebody self-hypnosis.
Self-hypnosis.
Yeah.
And Kenney claims later during a deposition that this is a lie. So all the
Oh,
parents,
so the mother's.
all the
so
parents are liars.
She made that up too.
Clearly.
They're making up these very specific things
Uh-huh.
that he said and did. Okay.
Yeah. So then, of course, Brittany goes and takes the SAT later, and her score didn't change. It wasn't better. And then after she took the test, not immediately, because she went to grad night and everything was great at grad night. She was happy. She had a really good time. There are pictures of her. And then between grad night and graduation, which is weird because our grad nights are on graduation, but they do their grad night first. She had, she was home. She had gone into her room, whatever. And her parents went looking for her, I think, to tell her dinner was ready. And they couldn't find her. She wasn't in her room. Well, her door was locked. They had to go around and go in through the window. And they found her hanging in her bedroom closet.
Oh, my God.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. So
either he's doing something wrong or he has the worst
luck in the
Luck,
world. Yeah. No, this man is fucking responsible.
Well,
in my opinion.
I know it's very.
That's
a lot.
Coincidental.
It's a very small high
Very
school,
short.
right? Very short time, very small
March
high
and
school.
May. This is
March
in
and May. Okay.
Yeah. I heard one thing I heard 2,000 students. Another one I heard 1,200 students.
Oh.
So it's
a
the only
decent sized high school, but
it is a decent sized high school because it's the only one in town. But the mom said that there were no signs of depression. She was making plans. She was talking about college, whether or not she was going to go to her dream college. But how many people does that happen to? I mean, I know that's not you can't say that for everything, but still, she was still talking about her future and talking about going to college. It's really heartbreaking to watch Brittany's parents in the documentary. At one point, it looks like they're in a garage, but at one point the dad he gets up and leaves because he can't talk about it.
That is so sad.
But the mom says that they had a private funeral for Brittany, and they did invite Dr. Kenney, because probably at that time, you're not thinking about everything that they were thinking about afterwards. And it's a little bit ironic because he did come to the funeral, and he told them he had to leave early because he had an appointment to hypnotize another student.
God.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Monster.
And they do interview a lot of kids who went to the high school at the time, who were friends with these kids, knew the principal. A bunch of them were supporters of him. Like, he was the best principal in the world. He did nothing wrong. And then a lot of them were friends with the kids that died and thought that he was responsible. And some kids said that, a lot of kids at the time were thinking, what's going on? Am I going to be next?
Yeah.
After Brittany.
Don't get hypnotized by the principal.
Mm-hmm. And so it was after Brittany died that people really started talking about the whole hypnotism angle, because they realized that all three of them had been hypnotized by Dr. Kenney. So Brittany's parents said that the autopsies of both Brittany and Wesley showed that there was no bruising on their necks, which is common even with people who commit suicide, because it's just a reflex to grab at whatever is around your neck.
Yeah.
And the fact that there weren't any marks means that they didn't do that at all.
Well, that's odd, because usually you don't do that because they check for ligature marks around their wrist.
Well, yeah.
I mean, that's typically when you don't have that is because you were restrained.
Because you couldn't. Yeah. But I think some people might think, well, they wanted to do it. They were doing it on purpose.
You still do that.
Your body still has a natural reflex.
Exactly.
It doesn't matter.
And that's what
weird.
I guess the coroner said. It's still common.
But I wouldn't think hypnosis would prevent you from doing it. Even if you were self-hypnotizing yourself. I don't know. I don't
well,
see
that's
how
what
that would work.
her mom thinks, that you go into a very calm state where you just don't, like with what Marcus said, he could still think about what he wants to think about, but he doesn't. It's like, but he can't feel his body. He doesn't care what's going on with his body.
That's
so.
Odd.
That would I think that's the theory.
Okay.
That they probably were thinking about suicide, obviously, or they wouldn't have done it.
Yeah.
So, but being able to go into such a relaxed state where they don't care about consequences, or they don't care about what's going on, is what allowed them to go through with it.
Yeah.
But they may not have gone through with it if they hadn't been hypnotized.
That's obviously impossible to say, but
yeah, absolutely. It's not provable. So the school district began investigating Dr. Kenney, and because he finally did admit that he had hypnotized Wesley McKinley the day before he killed himself. So that was in April, and then May was the graduation, and he was he was told, you're on suspension. You got to leave. And so he wasn't going to be there for graduation. And a lot of students, some of the teachers and a lot of the parents were really upset. Like he was the heart of the school and how could he not be there? And especially the kids that he felt like he did help them. There was one kid in the documentary who said he would not have even been graduating if it wasn't for Dr. Kenney.
Wow.
And, that he was suicidal and, Dr. Kenney helped him and, got him back on track, blah, blah, blah. I mean, it's important. It's great. It's lovely. It's what a principal is supposed to do. You don't have to use hypnosis to do that, in my opinion.
It has nothing to do with hypnosis. And that kid did get better by talking to Dr. Kenney.
Exactly.
Zero to do with
and
this
and that's exactly
hypnosis.
what he said, that he felt listened to.
Yeah.
Your principal should listen to
Exactly.
you. Your school counselor should listen to you anyway. So, so that's great. So he got helped. He said he wouldn't even walk if Dr. Kenney wasn't going to be the one to hand him his diploma. So the school board agreed and they let him come just for graduation. And then he had to leave. So,
but he tried to hypnotize the entire audience as one.
well, the hardest part about that graduation to me was that Brittany's brother was the one who went up when her name was called to get her diploma, and he had to get it from Dr. Kenney.
Kicked him in the nuts so hard.
So hard. It made him throw up.
So the school board, and this was that was the last time the students saw Kenney. He had to split after that.
Split. I like that, Carrie.
Yep.
Bring that back in that context. I love that.
So the school board hires a private investigation agency to, I guess, interview a whole bunch of people and find out what had gone on. This investigation uncovered an incident that had happened that caused the school nurse to report Kenney to her supervisor, who was in charge of all the school nurses.
Here comes we find out about the cover-up.
There was a student in the weight training room, and he had some kind of accident. And so, of course, they send a call out to the administrators and the adults who are supposed to come help.
Like a poopy pee-pee accident?
On the walkie-talkie.
Why do you think that?
No,
did he shit himself? Or
Obviously, I know. It's a weight accident,
know.
guys.
Wow.
So Kenney ran to the weight room at just, as the nurse probably was too, but he must have been a little bit faster than her. He arrived before she did. And when she got there, he was hypnotizing this student
to not be in pain anymore.
To relax. And yes. And I don't know if he even knew what was wrong with him. It turned out like dislocated shoulder kind of stuff. But when he was doing what he was doing, he was preventing the nurse from going over and actually assessing the kid to see what was wrong with him. And, I think somebody had already called 911 and an ambulance was on the way, but still. Kenney said he didn't realize he was interfering with the nurse. He did admit that he probably was, but he wasn't doing it on purpose. But whatever.
Whatever.
Yeah, Carrie sounds like. That sounds plausible.
Sure.
Yes.
He's a narcissist
It
who thinks
still-
his hypnotism is more important than a nurse in
medical
a
attention.
accident.
It's inappropriate. If I was that principal, I would have been turning around saying, where the heck is that nurse?
Yeah.
Let's get an actual medical professional over here to help this
But
kid.
he's a doctor, Kenney.
Mm-hmm.
He's fine.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that PhD.
He got it from the same national hypnotism school that he got certification from.
So he denied using any sort of. Actually, he had initially denied hypnotizing Brittany. Also,
See, the fact that he's doing that is
It's
a bad move on his part because it lays an obvious accusation that so you knew it was wrong, right?
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Yeah.
He admitted that he lied because he had to, and he claimed that he lied because he was under a lot of stress. And when he got the phone call from the investigator or whoever was asking him, his knee-jerk reaction was to lie when they asked him about it.
Tells you everything we need to know about your veracity.
What happened to no comment? No comment.
Better idea. Tell the truth.
Yeah.
That should be your knee-jerk reaction.
Yes, but it's not. I don't think he was under oath. So the investigators also uncovered that in 2009, so this is before any of these kids were hypnotized, his supervisor had told him he could only perform hypnosis in psychology class as a presentation talking about hypnosis in a psychology setting. But he kept doing it because he said he was never told to stop.
Okay.
Well, being told you can only do it in one setting is being told to stop doing it in other settings.
I was told I could rob banks, but never mind. I had something. It went away.
Okay.
Well, newspaper reports at the time said that therapeutic hypnosis is against the law in Florida unless it's monitored or conducted by a medical professional. But they also didn't think that Kenney would be prosecuted for it because the law is vague and it had rarely been used since it was enacted in 1961.
Huh.
And of course, the lawyers say that it is vague because it lacks the crucial definition of therapeutic. And so it's a very broad, they have to use the dictionary definition, whatever.
People know what it means.
Yeah, it's not hard to figure out what the intent of that law is, but they basically said it's unenforceable. Well, in 2011, Kenney was charged with practicing hypnosis without a license.
That sounds like a fairly minor crime.
Well, I guess it could, it could have been a felony.
Really?
Uh-huh.
Damn, Florida.
There was a way to
Death
make it
penalty.
a misdemeanor, but there was also a way for it to be a felony, which would be each count could get him up to 5 years in prison.
Jesus.
And he had hypnotized like 70 kids.
Wow.
Because he also did some teachers and stuff like that. So, and of course, Janice.
Mm-hmm.
So in October 2011, he was charged, and that investigation had found out that before any of the kids who died had been hypnotized by him, his boss, who has a long title, I'm not going to say what it is, but his name is Steve Canties. They said that he had warned him at least 3 times to not practice hypnosis unless it was for the psychology class demonstration.
So he was told to stop.
Exactly.
And that he had gotten permission from the parent of every student involved. But also, even if that happened, even if he got the permission, and even in the psychology class, it still could have been illegal because he didn't have a license to do therapeutic hypnosis.
Right.
He was certified. I feel like that's just as good.
Yeah.
And GHK.
Mm-hmm. So in 2012, he pled guilty. No, he didn't plead guilty. I'm sorry. No contest.
Same thing.
2 misdemeanor charges of practicing unlicensed hypnotherapy. He got 1 year of probation and like 50 hours of
Good Lord.
Community service.
Which ironically he did by hypnotizing people in the community.
Paid like a $300-something fine. And it was done on purpose because this way he was allowed to retire and receive his full pension.
Oh,
if
Lord.
he had been found guilty of a felony, he would have lost his pension. So he worked
deserves
this out.
Even if he didn't cause these kids to die, he still deserves
Exactly.
to lose his
I
agree.
agree.
And be penalized much worse than he was.
Which is why they weren't charging him with anything to have to do with the kids' deaths.
At best, he was reckless and selfish.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
at worst, he's a murderer.
And knew what he was doing. And we knew what he was doing was wrong.
Yes.
Because he lied. And by the way, also lied to the investigative authorities.
Exactly.
And as the principal, he for sure should have lost his pension.
Yep.
Yeah.
He and his wife lived in town for like a year, and they were being hounded by reporters and stuff like that. This became an international story.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Yep. I don't remember.
There's always these big stories. We did these episodes and these big stories that we lived through.
And you don't
I have the
remember.
vaguest, haziest recollection of when this happened. Like there was some high school principal doing some
Oh, you
shady
do?
stuff, a very vague.
I don't.
Just like something was going on in Florida. And you think, oh, well, it's Florida. Something's going on every day in Florida. That's shady.
Yeah.
But I do have a vague memory of this.
Well, now he's operating a bread and breakfast in North Carolina, and he also
course he
has a stained glass studio because that was his hobby before he
fuck?
retired.
He doesn't write therapy books or do therapy.
I think
help.
I don't know. We should go on Amazon and see if they're
Hypnosis
still on there.
tapes.
He
Awesome.
hypnotizes all his bed and breakfast guests.
To-
to
You'll
him
give this a
good-
5-star. Yelp.
Well, the families of the 3 students who died could not sue him personally because under Florida law, all school district employees are considered an extension of the school board. because Florida.
When they're doing something that's in contradiction to what the school district says you can do, it should be you.
Yeah.
Same with
Yes.
police departments, whatever, all those things. You shouldn't be suing cities and police departments and things like that when what they're doing is not part of their job. This was
Yeah.
not part of his job. In fact, was told not to do it.
Well, they did file a lawsuit against the school,
I would do
the
that.
school board.
Yeah, but see,
because-
now the taxpayers have to pay for something he did.
Yes.
And that's bullshit.
And they had to, like I said, because they couldn't sue
I know.
him. But the basis for suing the school board was they knew about it and they
Yeah.
didn't stop him. And if they claimed they didn't know about it, they should have. But there's no way they could claim they didn't know about it because even Janice said she would clip out, there would be like newspaper articles
Oh, okay.
about him doing this. She would clip him out and send him into the school district for, I don't know, posterity or whatever.
Jeez Louise.
So everybody knew that he
Yeah.
was doing it. And clearly we know his boss knew because he said that he told him to stop. So, which great, yeah, he was doing the right thing, but he should have made him stop.
Yeah, there was no follow through.
Exactly.
Just telling someone to do something is not the same.
So the lawsuit against the school district came probably a few years later because that's how it always happens. And so Dr. Kenney was called back by the school district's lawyers to come back to Florida to do a deposition. So that's how we have a lot of his discrepancies in his testimony because they have tapes of his deposition, and he don't come across real well trying to object.
He's trying to object.
Jeez Louise.
I object to your question. This is impertinent and saucy.
He said, "Isn't that argumentative?"
Yeah, probably.
Dr. Kenney, are you a douchebag? I object.
And the lawyer goes, "Is that your answer?" And he goes, "Oh, I'm not going to answer the question." He goes, "You have to answer the question.
Yeah.
Sounds like an a-hole.
You're not a lawyer. You can't object." But so anyway, the outcome of that, it was a civil trial, was that the district had to pay each family $200,000. And the reason for that is the maximum any Florida government agency can pay out without getting special approval from the legislature and the governor.
Okay, that should not be how
No.
payouts are determined. It's not. I'm sorry, I can't pay anymore, even though I'm absolutely. That makes no sense whatsoever.
Yeah.
Well, it's not
The
it's
verdict.
Florida government agencies.
Yeah. Well, I know,
not
but
a
that's
person.
absurd, though.
I
Think
agree.
about that.
Yeah.
I mean, E. Jean Carroll sued Donald Trump for win $83 million. He says, "I'm sorry, I have a personal policy to not pay more than $500.
Right.
Nothing I can do. I'd love to give you $93 million.
Yeah.
That makes no sense.
Well, Donald Trump would probably try to get a law passed that said,
Yes.
any former president doesn't have to pay.
That's crazy. I would think that law is for sure not legal and unconstitutional. How has that not been challenged?
I don't know.
It was
Makes
Florida.
no sense.
But before this case went to trial, the school board was, preparing their defense, and they were trying to prepare to say that there was no link between the hypnotism and the deaths of the teenagers. So of course they had to get all their experts and stuff. And so they did have a licensed hypnotherapist and psychotherapist. Her name was Dr. Ellen Gamberg. She was their expert witnesses. And her testimony was that the family's claims were not founded. There was no link. And that, like Marcus Freeman, the kid in the car accident, he could not have hypnotized himself using the techniques that he learned during his sessions with Dr. Kenney. And she also said that you could not self-hypnotize yourself while you're driving a car, because her contention was
Who's saying this?
the school board's expert witness.
Oh, well, okay.
She's saying
This is dumb.
you have to be you have to be thinking about driving so much that you can't possibly get to such a relaxed state.
That is the stupidest thing a human has ever said. It's literally called highway hypnosis. When you're driving for 10 minutes, oh shit, I've been on the freeway. That's the dumbest thing a human has ever said.
I'm glad you said that.
Good
But
Lord.
yeah, I mean, how many times have you driven home with no memory?
A
You go,
lot.
"Damn, how did I get here?"
What an idiot.
Yep.
That's insane. Of course. So see, that's expert witnesses are the worst human beings in the world. From both sides, prosecution, defense, they say what they're paid to say.
Yeah. Yeah.
They shouldn't exist.
Yep. And then, there's lots of stories from kids, the ones about the kids in the hotel in Orlando and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
They were I mean, they were boys for the most part. And I would say the one that could only see things that look like Chinese symbols and the kid with the lipstick, they were traumatized. The one kid, the lipstick thing, he didn't tell anybody for years. And
because if that happened to me, I would think something horrible happened to me. I would think I was drugged. I was,
I would think something sexy happened.
Well, and that can be traumatizing for a child.
Yeah.
In high school.
He's in high school.
And he's a child. This is a quote from Dr. Kenney. I don't think I was unreasonable. I took steps to get trained at an appropriate level.
Oh, God.
I could have performed it in private practice, but I chose to do it for kids who asked me if I would help them.
You could have done that in private practice.
Yeah.
Fully licensed or whatever you needed to do professionally.
No, he couldn't because he was not even close to being licensed to do that.
Then he should have shut the hell up. I was going to say like a side hustle.
He was trained to do stage hypnosis, to get kids to act like chickens and that kind of thing, which now as a mom, completely inappropriate.
Very inappropriate.
If my kids were in high school now and I found out they were doing those kinds of things, I would raise a huge stink. And I'm not a stink raiser.
A, the word stink raiser is phenomenal. B, Carrie, Emma every once in a while still goes, ba-bonk, ba-bonk. We don't know why now. I think we do.
But anyway, there are experts in hypnosis, in therapeutic settings who say when you're going to hypnotize somebody because of anxiety, depression, if you're doing it therapeutically, which is what he was doing, whether he admits to it or not.
Of course it was.
You do a complete workup on that person. You find out what their mental condition is. You find out what their medical condition is. You make sure they're cleared by their medical doctor to undergo hypnosis before doing it. You need to find out if they have any phobias.
Yeah.
You need to find out if they have any past trauma, because you need to find out what could come up that could cause some sort of psychological or even physical reaction in them.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you a couple quick stories because I know we got to wrap this up. But because I wanted to know, has anybody ever been really harmed after doing the stage hypnosis thing?
I was thinking the same thing. Has this happened in other venues? The same level of superficial hypnosis.
Hypnosis.
Coined it. The European Journal of Clinical Hypnosis, and this is summer of 1996, so this is probably kind of on the heels of this being a very big thing in clubs and stuff like that. They profiled several cases of people who had suffered physical, mental, and emotional damage after having been subjects in a stage hypnosis show. Yeah. And these cases included broken limbs, headaches, dizziness, and in the one of the worst cases, the person they believed that their hypnosis triggered schizophrenia. Doesn't mean that it wouldn't have been true. I don't think, it possibly could have been triggered elsewhere, but it happened to be the hypnosis, which is a problem.
Yeah. So
I was getting worked up.
I am getting a little bit worked up. So now we're going to talk about Sharon Taborn. This happened in 1993. She's a 24-year-old woman in good health, according to her medical records and everything. She died on December 23rd, 1993, after she had volunteered to be in a stage hypnosis show at a pub in Leland, Lancashire, UK. Part of the show was them thinking that, I think they were like replacing a light bulb and they were being like electrocuted. Not to death, but you got a big shock when you're putting in the light bulb. So unbeknownst to the hypnotist, her father...
Oh, God.
I think this is the story. I don't know why I didn't write this part down because it's a very important
It's good. Just skip over the
thing. I think
details.
her father almost died from being electrocuted.
Okay.
So she had a phobia of being electrocuted to the point where she wouldn't change light bulbs because she was afraid of being electrocuted because I think she saw her father be electrocuted. So there's some belief maybe she didn't really wake up from the trance, from the stage hypnotist show, because she went right home and went to bed. She had 2 little kids with an ex-husband, but apparently they were friends because he was at the show too.
Mm-hmm.
And he went back with her to her house, probably to help put, whatever with the kids. She ended up going to bed at the bottom of the kids were toddlers. So like at the bottom of one of the kids' beds, and she fell asleep, and her husband slept in the same room. The 2 kids were all asleep in the same room. When they woke up in the morning, she was dead, laying in the bed.
What?
So what they think happened was that she fell asleep when she really was kind of still hypnotized,
Mm-hmm.
and that she could have woken up reacting to the suggestion that you're being electrocuted with 10,000 volts of electricity.
Mm-hmm.
And that suggestion, thinking she's being electrocuted, compounded with her phobia of electricity, caused like an epileptic like seizure, they think, and that she had a heart attack.
Oh my
Yeesh.
God.
Could have had a heart attack, vomited, and choked to death.
So she
Jesus.
choked on her own vomit. So they don't know for a fact. I mean, they're in the autopsy. They can find out if you had a heart attack. Shouldn't they know that?
And it said in sheer terror she had a heart attack. So I'm assuming
Hmm.
she really did have a heart attack.
Jesus
Hmm.
Lord. As a healthy 24-year-old woman.
But for sure,
Mhm. Yeah, 24-year-old
all of that
woman.
story is supposition. She could have had a weirdly young heart attack,
Yes.
Yes.
having
correct.
nothing to do with the hypnotism whatsoever.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So, I mean, it didn't seem like there were any sort of court cases about it, which I would assume it wouldn't
Yeah.
be. But
There's no way you could prove that.
so, I don't know. I think it's a bad thing. I don't
I agree.
agree with it being done for funsies. And
I will say, the
Funsies.
leadership camp I went, I'm not going to share the story because it's someone's personal story, but that they had the hypnotist at that leadership camp for like 20 years or something. At one of the camps I went to, show didn't go so well. He was kicked out and never welcomed back.
Yeah.
So they don't do the hypnotist show anymore.
part of my
That's vague. but-
issue with it is they do a lot of sexual stuff.
Yeah.
That seems inappropriate with people who may not be in control of what they're doing.
Yeah.
If the hypnotist really believes he's controlling these people, it's inappropriate.
Where does hypnotism stand right now with, for lack of a better term, legitimate psychology?
They do it. I mean, it's psycho or hypnotherapy is a
It
valid
is.
therapeutic thing. The most frequent uses for hypnosis are breaking bad habits, overcoming insomnia, and and they say as an anesthetic for managing pain.
Clearly, none of those things are really. We still have all of those things in massive numbers. So it clearly isn't.
Well, because
having-
I don't think it's that common.
I know. Okay, but if it was really effective in a real way, it would be incredibly common because we use it routinely to fix all those things.
Yes.
We don't.
I know somebody who has used it to stop stuttering,
Mm-hmm.
and it worked very well.
Yeah.
And that was actually one thing that Dr. Kenney worked on with kids stuttering.
My guess
too.
is going through a process. You could do it without the hypnotism, but people think hypnotism is so effective. So it's a little bit of a placebo effect is my guess.
I think there are other ones where like you can use an app, or like you're not even in a room with a real hypnotist, and those ones are doing it for things like weight loss, stopping drinking, stuttering,
Really?
those kinds of things. And it's just you're listening to something and becoming very relaxed.
Yeah.
And
it's mindfulness.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And-
at some point, that's not even really what we think of as a hypnosis
No.
then.
I mean, technically it is, I think.
Kind of.
Because I don't think all hypnosis means you're like in a complete trance and
Yeah.
you don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
But there were a couple of things that I heard about in another podcast about, and you can find them on YouTube. I didn't go look because I don't really want to. But one of them was a German person wanted to test it to see if he could hypnotize somebody to commit murder.
Yeah.
To kill somebody.
Jesus.
And it was all planned.
Mhm.
And I think the person being hypnotized knew what was happening.
Mhm.
They consented to being hypnotized because they probably thought, there's no way I'm going to try to kill somebody.
Yeah.
But so one of them was in German. It was in Germany, so it's all in German. And so it's subtitled or whatever. But he did it.
He killed someone?
Well, no.
Okay.
Obviously, I'm not. But the hypnotist, under hypnosis, gave him some sort of suggestion that there was a bad guy in a store or something.
Yeah.
He had a gun and he was going to kill somebody or whatever. And so he was given a gun, obviously, that wasn't loaded. And he literally pointed and shot.
Which the obvious things that, of course, he knew it wasn't loaded because, like you said, he was in on it. The patient was in on it. So
I don't know to what degree he knew exactly what he was going to do, but he was.
Safely, he knew he wasn't going to be given a lethal weapon.
That said, he was traumatized.
Yeah, I know.
By the thought that he pulled the trigger.
My reaction to that is
I know
bullshit.
And
because you know why? Because it would really be happening all the time. Honestly, it would be happening every day. It just makes no. It's clearly not. There's no real legitimate control. You're in the hypnotherapy. I think you're probably taking advantage of the placebo effect, and in the these other situations, you're taking advantage of suggestibility but nothing like what the hypnotic crowd would say they're doing.
Yeah, like the whole Sirhan thing. There would be a lot more of that going on. I think about the placebo effect.
What?
Who cares if it's a placebo effect? If it works,
oh, for sure. I know, but if you know it's bullshit, it's not going to work.
Bye.
And I've just ruined it for all of our listeners. I'm so sorry.
Well, I don't know. I'm not knowledgeable enough to give a truly educated opinion about hypnosis, but
no. But like I said, I'm literally just using this basic logic to say that it's clearly not what we think it is.
But because our story was about Dr. George Kenney, I feel like I am knowledgeable enough to say that what he was doing was very inappropriate. And whether or not, I don't believe he murdered those kids. No. You can never prove that. I don't think he intended for anything bad to happen to them. I think he thought what he was doing was great.
For sure.
But I think that makes him an idiot. Yeah. And probably a narcissist.
Like I said, it makes him a very reckless narcissist.
Yes. Mm-hmm. I agree. Yeah. I hate him.
I hate him too. I wish he lost his pension, but I don't think he should have spent years and years in jail.
No.
I feel horrible for those families though. I think something fucking nefarious was going on. I don't know. I think it's probably a little bit more sinister than we know.
I was thinking that during
in
the
my
things
humble opinion.
It's like because they reacted also like people who may have been abused as well.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I will tell you because I saw the video of some sessions, and he is sitting in a chair across from a teenager, sitting in a chair directly in front of him, and he puts him in like a little sleepy trance, and they flop forward, and their head lands in his lap.
Okay.
And when they are showing kids who were students at the time, who are now, it's 10 years later, so they're in their 20s, they are aghast.
Really?
Oh, I didn't know that's what it was like. Because at the time they thought, oh, Dr. Kenney's doing a good thing. He's there, he's just helping people. When they saw what it looked like, they thought it looked creepy and inappropriate.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, an adult man taking a child into his office and closing the door and doing anything to alter their mind is gross.
Yes.
And I don't believe that he had innocent, pure intentions.
Yeah.
I think probably some more sinister stuff was going on behind the scenes, but we unfortunately are never going to know because the children that it probably happened to are dead.
Well, and you're right. The mind altering thing, which I didn't even really talk about, that is a huge issue because as we know, teenagers' brains are not fully developed, and
not even close. Teenagers are stupid is what we're trying to say.
That's why there's an issue with hypnotizing children, essentially.
Terrible.
So
okay. I went to hypnosis camp when I was 6 years old. I don't remember a lot, but I don't think I did anything bad.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Carrie, for that. Another exhilarating Carrie's Corner, Carrie's Psychology Corner.
Psychology Corner.
And it wasn't uplifting.
You don't need
I'm trying to do uplifting topics.
Yeah, no, I was going to actually be a little angry with you because Em and I were being a little flippant because we did not know, because we don't expect you to do these things where death happens. You don't do those anymore. So you kind of sandbagged us, and you should have given us a warning.
Well, we're going to have to add a trigger warning to the.
Oh, well, okay. But for us now, a little late.
A little late with me and Dad.
All right. Well, thank you, Carrie.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Carrie.
See you next time.
That didn't sound genuine.
No, it didn't at all.
Thanks for listening.